Hello students, welcome to the channel, and this is the video of class 10th biology, and here I have brought the multiple choice question taken from chapter 3 and the topic is asexual reproduction. So here we will solve some questions from the topic asexual reproduction, and this is the topic taken from chapter 3, which is how do organisms reproduce. So let's see. The first question is asexual reproduction involves. Asexual reproduction, how many parents are involved in asexual reproduction? You have to tell. The first option is saying only one parent. The B option is saying both parents, and the C option is saying none of the above. So you have to find out, you have to tell that how many individuals are involved during the asexual reproduction. So you know that the basic difference between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction is that in asexual reproduction, the only one parent is involved. Only one parent is involved, so this is the correct option. And in you know that in contrast of asexual reproduction, you know that in sexual reproduction there are the requirement of two individuals, male and female. The male makes male gamete and the female makes female gamete, and when both the gametes fuse together, the zygote will form, and the zygote develops into embryo, and the embryo develops into a new organism. So asexual reproduction basically involves only one parent. Okay, it doesn't need two parents, male and female. Now the next question is, which of the following kind of reproduction occurs in Spirogyra? The first option, spore formation, B, budding, C, regeneration, and D, fragmentation. So here you have to tell that in the organism which is called Spirogyra, which kind of reproduction occurs. As you know, Spirogyra is an algae, and this algae has a filamentous body and having a very characteristic kind of ribbon shaped chloroplast. Okay, so what kind of reproduction occurs in a Spirogyra? Spore formation, budding, regeneration, fragmentation. So you know that you have studied that Spirogyra develops into new individual by the process of fragmentation, right? Because its body is filamentous, and when its body is divided into several fragments, like here you can see fragment 1, fragment 2, fragment 3, then all the fragments are able to develop into a new body. Okay, right, you can see it grows. These all fragments can grow into a complete organism. So in Spirogyra, the mode of asexual reproduction is fragmentation. Next question is, multiple fission is found in. Multiple fission मिलता है in which of the organism? The options are Paramecium, Euglena, Plasmodium, Hydra. So you know that multiple fission is a kind of asexual reproduction that is seen in unicellular organism, and here you can see that the multiple fission is found in the organism which is Plasmodium. Okay, Plasmodium is the causative agent of malaria, which is a disease occur in humans. So this Plasmodium is a protozoan, and when it has to be developed, when it has to produce new organism, what does it do in the human bodies? It divides many organisms by the process of multiple fission. Here the one cell, the parent cell, divides its nucleus into many nuclei. Then after that, with the help of cytokinesis, so many cells are formed. Okay, so here the correct option is Plasmodium. Next question is, binary fission occurs in multicellular organisms, unicellular organism, in both. So binary fission is a kind of asexual reproduction in which the parent cell divided into two equal halves. You know that. So the binary fission occurs in unicellular organism only. It doesn't happen or occur in the multicellular organism, because here in this process the single cell is divided into two equal daughter cells, right? So the binary fission occurs in unicellular organism, like you can see here that the binary fission is in amoeba. Okay, here the amoeba divides into two daughter cell equally with the help of binary fission. Okay, so the binary fission is a kind of asexual reproduction that occurs in unicellular organism. Okay, unicellular organism. Okay, now let's talk about the next question. Rhizome is modified. Rhizome is modified. The options are root, stem, leaves and buds. So rhizome is modified stem, which are found underground. Okay, rhizomes are the stems and which are modified, and they are found under the soil, under the ground, and these modified stem store the food for the plants. Okay, so here you can see the example of rhizome, that is ginger. Ginger is the modified stem found in the ginger plant under the ground, and it stores the food that we eat, right? So the rhizome shows the modification in a stem. Now the next question is asexual reproduction in plants is called as spore formation, regeneration, vegetative propagation, vegetation. So you know that the plants can also produce by asexual mode of reproduction. So what are it called? What is it called? Spore formation, regeneration, vegetative propagation. So you know that the asexual reproduction that occurs in plants, that is called vegetative propagation. Okay, in which the vegetative part of the plants take part to grow into a new plant, right? What are the vegetative parts of the plants? Root, stem and leaves. Okay, now the next question is, out of which organisms can't reproduce in asexual mode of reproduction? The last option is humans too. This is here. So hydra, braid mole, yeast and human. So out of these four options you have to tell which organism cannot reproduce in asexual mode of reproduction. You know that the hydra reproduces by the asexual mode of reproduction, that is called budding. Braid mold is a kind of fungi. You know, braid mold is a kind of fungi which reproduces asexually by the formation of spores. Yeast is also a kind of fungus that reproduces asexually by budding. You have studied that. Humans are the organisms which cannot reproduce by the asexual mode of reproduction. Humans only reproduce by the sexual mode of reproduction, by the making of male and female gametes and all. Okay, so the right option is humans. Humans do not produce asexually, right? Now the next question is, Bryophyllum plants reproduce. You have to give the answer. Bryophyllum plants reproduce by its root, by its stem, by its leaves, none of the above. So you know Bryophyllum is a plant that generally reproduces asexually by the modification in its leaves. You know that at the margin of the leaves there are small plantlets are there, that when these plantlets detach from the parent leaf, then it grows into a complete plant, right? So Bryophyllum reproduces by its leaves asexually. Next question is, offsprings formed by asexual method of reproduction have greater similarity among themselves because, okay, the organisms which are developed by asexual method, they have they are very much similar to their parent. Why? What is the reason of these very great similarity between offspring and parents? The first option is saying asexual reproduction involves only one parent, and B option is saying asexual reproduction doesn't involve gametes, and the C option is saying asexual reproduction occurs before sexual reproduction. And the D option is saying asexual reproduction occurs after sexual reproduction. So you have to find out the correct reason, and the options are A and B, A and C, B and D, and C and T. Okay, so in the asexual method of reproduction, the offspring, the new generation, are very similar to the parent because it involves only one parent. Okay, because it involves only one parent, as well as asexual reproduction doesn't involve gamete. You know that the gamete formation occurs in the sexual reproduction, and in sexual reproduction two parents are involved. So due to the formation of gametes and their combination, the new variety develops in kind of sexual mode of reproduction. But in asexual method of reproduction, only one parent is involved and there are no gamete involvements. That's why there is no variety, no variation, and that's why the offsprings look very much similar to their parents. So the option A and B are the correct. So here you will tick A and B, the first option. Now the next question is, in Rhizopus, tubular thread-like structure bearing sporangia at their tip are called. The options are filaments, hyphae, rhizoids, roots. So you know that the Rhizopus is a kind of fungus, and it is also called braid mold. Okay, and the fungus has tubular thread-like structure. On the tip of that structure, they have sporangia, and in the sporangia the spores are found. What are these tubular thread-like structure called? A filament, hyphae, rhizoid, root. So the correct option is hyphae. Hyphae is the correct option. Like you can see here, this is the structure of Rhizopus. So these are the root-like structure which are called rhizoids, used to absorb the nutrition. Okay, so above the rhizoid there are hollow tubular-like structure which make the network. This is called hypha. On the tip of the hypha you can see this is the sporangium, in which the spores are enclosed. Okay, when the sporangium bursts out, the spores move out into the environment, and when the spores get the favorable condition, they develop into a new fungus. So this is hypha, and here the correct option is hypha. Okay, now the next question is, vegetative propagation refers to formation of new plants from. In the plants, the vegetative propagation is the method by which the new individuals are formed asexually. So what are the parts of the plants take part in the vegetative propagation? Stem, roots and flowers, stem, roots and leaves, stems, flowers and fruit, stem, leaves and flower. So in vegetative propagation, the only vegetative parts of plants take part, participate in the asexual method of reproduction. And here the vegetative part of the plants are what? They are the stem, root and leaves. So flowers are the sexual flower are the reproductive organ of the plant, and they participate in the sexual reproduction. So you will not include the flower in vegetative propagation because it is the part of sexual reproduction. So you will write stem, root and leaf. So this is the correct option. Next question is, reproduction is essential for the living organism in order to keep the individual organism alive, fulfill their energy requirement, maintain growth, and continue the species generation after generation. So you have to find the correct option. The question is, reproduction is essential for living organism. Why the reproduction is important, is needed for the organism? Because it helps the organism to continue the species generation after generation. You know that the reproduction is the process by which the organism make and produce new individuals, new organisms, so that they can continue their numbers, their race, their species generation after generation. Okay, so this is the correct option. Now the next question is, which of the following organism undergoes binary fission? The option are Plasmodium, Hydra, Amoeba, Mucor. So you know that the amoeba is the very famous example to show the binary fission. So here the correct option is amoeba. Okay. Next question is, which kind of cell division occur in asexual reproduction? In asexual reproduction, what kind of cell division takes place? Mitosis, meiosis, both, none of the above. So you know that in asexual reproduction, the mitosis takes place, in which no reduction occurs in chromosome numbers. Okay, the number of chromosomes are similar to the parent cell in the daughter cell. So it occurs in an asexual reproduction, which is mitosis. So the correct option is A, mitosis. Next question is, which of the following organism produces new organism by the process of regeneration? Okay, so out of these four organisms, you have to find out that which is the organism that reproduces by the process of regeneration. The options are yeast, rat, Plasmodium, planaria. So you know that the planaria has a very tremendous capacity of regeneration. You know that when the body of planaria cuts into several pieces, each and every piece is able to regenerate into a new individual, like you can see here. Okay, so planaria is the right option. Next question is, spores take part in asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, in both, nowhere. Okay, so you know that the spore formation is the kind of asexual reproduction that generally happens or seen in fungus, in the category of fungi. Okay, so asexual spores are formed in spores are the structures which participate in the asexual reproduction. Now the next question is, the piece of a stem taken from superior quality of plant during grafting is called. So you know the options are stalk, scion, offshoot, shoot. You know that grafting is an artificial technique of vegetative propagation. Here what do? We take the piece of stem of superior quality from the one plant, and we join it to the other previously rooted plant. Okay, join with the stem of previously rooted plant. So the piece of stem that we take to join it to the previously rooted plant, and that piece of stem that we take from the plant to join, they have the superior quality, and they are called scion. That is called scion. Okay, so here in this diagram you can see here. Okay, so you can see here, this is the previously rooted plant, and on the stem of the previously rooted plant we have attached a new piece of plant taken from the another plant, and we have joined the piece of stem taken from the another plant. Okay, so the piece of the stem that we have taken from the superior quality plant, that is called scion, and on which we have joined it, that part of the plant is called a stalk. Now the next question is, what is a clone? Organism formed by sexual reproduction, organism formed by asexual reproduction, organism formed artificially, none of the above. So clone is a word we used for the organisms that are formed in asexual reproduction. Why do we call it clone? Because clone is something which are similar, which are very very similar to the parent. So the organisms which are found in the asexual reproduction, they are very very similar, exactly identical to their parent. That's why they are called clone. It doesn't occur in sexual reproduction, because sexual reproduction brings variation in the offsprings. So the clones are the organisms which are formed by the asexual reproduction. So this is the correct option. Next question is the plane of fission in Euglena is. You know that the Euglena is a protozoa unicellular organism which reproduce asexually with the help of binary fission. And the plane of fission in Euglena, you have to tell irregular, transverse, longitudinal, oblique. So you can see here the Euglena is here. Okay, Euglena is here, and you can see the plane of fission means the plane from which it splits into two daughter cell. That plane is longitudinal. Okay, it shows the longitudinal plane of fission. While you can see the paramecium show the transverse binary fission, and amoeba show irregular binary fission because it doesn't have any shape of its cell. Now the next question is epimorphic regeneration doesn't occur in lizard, frog, toad, all of the above. Epimorphic regeneration does not occur in. You know that epimorphic regeneration is the kind of regeneration in which the lost part of the body is regenerated, is developed into a complete part, and that is called epimorphic regeneration. So it doesn't occur in lizard, frog, toad, and the last option should be none of the above. None of the above. So make a correction. Now you can see in the lizard, the option is saying your lizard. Okay, the lizard, frog, and toad shows the epimorphic regeneration. Okay, whenever it lost any of its organ, it regenerates, it develops, and it becomes complete. Okay, so all of these organisms show the epimorphic regeneration. So your correct option is D option, none of the above. Okay, so this is all for this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.